Hello, I'm MrTieDye. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to do a pig face tee. I've had a few requests for it and it's been in the queue for a while, but I had to get some Halloween tees done. So I'm going to try to get back around to my other queue and see if I can get some of these things done. So what I'm starting with is the tee that's been soaked in soda ash. It's been spun out, and then I centered it or did the fold in half where I tuck one sleeve into the other. So I got both sleeves tucked in here. So this is the front, and of course I just flipped the back towards the back. So I'm going to work on just the front of the tee. This here is the center of the tee right here. So I have my little pig face stencil, or half of it, that I've made out of the cutting board stuff. I do have a video on how I make the stencils and do the cutouts, so I'll post a link to that down in the description along with the centering of the tee or the folding of it. So once you get your stencil on there, or if you want to just freehand it, you can do that also. I just find the stencil makes quick work of drawing these on. So there's my outline. Okay, so there's my pig face. So what I'm going to start with is doing the smallest details in here first. And the way I like to do that is I just will pinch that and fold that nostril in half there. Once I do that, then I can flip that back and then I can fold that little thing. I'm going to get my kite string ready here, just so that when I get that folded I can just put this slip knot right over top and tighten it down. So I'm just going to do little teeny tiny accordion folds for this nose. And I'll put my slip knot on and tie that off. I like to pull this kite string a little extra tight just to make it kind of act like sinew, where it's going to leave just a little bit of a white line around there. So it's not the same as sinew, but if I pull it tight enough I can get just a little bit of a white line, which is what I want. I don't want a solid one like sinew would give. I'm going to do the same thing for the eyeball here. You see, these detail things are the easiest things to fold up first. And now I'm going to fold the snout of the pig. And of course he's got the one nostril that's poking up there. So these folds are a little bit bigger just because I'm folding along a larger area. Okay, and I'm going to scrunch this snout up just a little bit here. So I haven't tied it off yet. I'm just going to scrunch it and make sure that the nostril is pointing up, so it doesn't get lost down in the folds or whatever. Okay, and now around the pig, the whole outline of the face here. And I'm going to start at the top here so that I go across this here ear. Let's see. Hard to tell if you guys can see that or not. But anyways, so the ear has got more of a sharp point here. That's going to be the most difficult corner to get around. So I'm going to do that first, so that's already done in there, and then I can just cruise through the rest of this. So I'm just going to do about a 1/2 inch accordion folds. I just follow right along the line. And going around your corners, you just got to twist the t-shirt just a little bit. Sometimes it creates a little bit of a bunched up fold, and that's fine. But you want to just get your folds going along, and I'm going to end this one. So I'm going to make that fold just a little bit larger, this crease here, because I like to end with the end of the roll being at the downward side, so that I can fold the other part up and around and match it up. So I'm going to take this line and match it up with this line. So that's easiest for me if I just reach underneath. This finger here I'm just holding right there at that point, and then I can just match those two up. Let's see if I can zoom in so you can see that a little better here. Okay, now if we can get back on the screen. Okay, so this here is right at the very point of the ear. So I got that on the downward side, and then this line here, I'm going to fold it up and around. So basically what I'm doing is I'm holding my finger right here at this point, and then I can flip this up and line this up where it goes right here. So I'm just kind of doing a 45-degree fold on that. So I just reach underneath here and put those two lines right together, and that just makes it now where, let's see if I can get that still on the screen. Now I'm still going nice, have a nice up and over straight down fold here. It's not going off to one side or the other side, it's going straight down. So that's what you want to do when you're going around those tight corners, is just fold that up and around at a 45-degree angle. So okay, back to the folding. We're around the tight corner, so now the rest of it will be easy, or easier. And this just is something that takes practice. I know I make it look really easy, but that's because I've been folding these like this around these tight corners for many years, so I've had lots of practice at getting them to line up the way that I want them to. So the more that you do it, the easier it's going to be for you. And pretty soon you'll be showing somebody how to fold it, and they'll be saying, "Man, you make that look so easy." Okay, so there's the pig face in the front. On the back, I'm going to put just a spine, just for fun. And I do have a video on the spine where you can watch it slowly, but I'm just going to fast forward through this. There is the pig face. So we got our snout with our nostril. This here's the head with the eyeball, and then the back got the spine tied on it. Just a rough draft, or rough one on there. And scrunch the rest. So I will be back with some gloves, and we'll get some color put on this. Okay, we're back to get some dye put on this thing. So I'm going to start out by outlining it with my thick black dye. Once again, this here is my own personal choice for outlining. You don't have to outline your designs if you don't want to. But if you do outline them, then the thick black dye, or thick dye, doesn't have to be black, is what's going to work the best, because it'll give you a nice thin line, because it's not going to spread much. But because it doesn't spread much, it doesn't soak in all the way either. So when I do use it, I'll use my cuticle pusher to press that dye down inside. And that just helps give me better saturation for that line. So we'll flip it over and do the same thing on the back side. I'm going to dye the pig itself in 2 shades of purple. I'm going to use a light purple and then a darker purple over top of it, just to give him some texture. But I'm going to dye the eye and the nostril and the eyes in turquoise, just so that they kind of pop out. So I'm going to add that, and then I'm going to squeeze up some of the excess with a dry rag. So I'm just using just regular dye for this here, not thick dye. And one of the things you can do to just help control the flow is to use a dry rag to squeeze it in, but also to soak up some of the excess dye. And then I can kind of touch it up if it looks a little bit light, and put just a tiny bit more dye on there. Okay. And I think I'm going to dye the snout of the pig in the lighter purple here. And then I'll soak up a little bit of that excess dye too. Sometimes this here just helps keep your dye from spreading too much where you don't want it to, is if you soak up a little bit of that with a dry rag. So now I'm going to put a little bit of this here up in other places around the pig's head. The snout, I'm going to leave it just in the light purple, but the rest of it I'm going to dye in dark purple too. So now I'm going to rotate my black down, and I'm going to start with black now where I started with the light purple before. So this here is the spine of the T, down the back of the T, and I do have a video on the spine, and I will put a link to it in the description of the video. So now the rest of the T, I'm going to dye it in 2 shades of green. There is the pig face with the spine down the back. I'm going to let this batch for 48 hours, and then I'll have results for you here in about 2 seconds. Thank you for watching.